name is April, also known as Thrifty and Classy, and today I will be sharing with you my tips on how to study for and also pass the CPC exam. If you are new to my channel, please make sure you hit the red subscribe button down below, and if you enjoy the content, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. I recently passed the CPC exam and I passed on my first try, so I thought I would share with you guys my tips for how I study and my test taking strategies. So the first thing I will say is make sure you take practice tests before the exam. The exam itself is 150 questions long. They give you 5 hours and 40 minutes to complete the exam. So that gives you about 2 minutes and 20 seconds to answer each question. So I would say take as many practice timed tests as possible so that you will be prepared for the test taking experience when you do go in and sit for the CPC. The next thing I would suggest is make sure you are familiar with your medical terminology and anatomy terms. There are questions on the exam that will ask you to define certain terms. So I would make sure that you refresh on those medical terminology terms and also anatomy. Another thing is to remember that everything you need is within those CPT books, even if it's there may be a diagnosis that you may be unfamiliar with. Just make sure, remember that you do have your anatomical illustrations in the book. You can use those maybe to help you answer some of the questions. Another thing I would suggest is make sure that you tab your book thoroughly. I had tabs on the top of my books and also on the right side of my books so that I could easily get to a particular topic or section within the book because time is of the essence. I also would suggest pay very close attention to your coding guidelines. Make sure you are familiar with your coding guidelines and that you know where to locate them. And also make sure that you pay very close attention to the parenthetical notes within your CPT code books. Those are some very key tips when taking the CPC exam. Also, since the exam is so long, you want to make sure that you bring a bottle of water maybe, or a very light snack so that you can keep up your endurance while you're in your testing. Now, in my particular test center, they did not stop the clock. You did not get a break. So if you did need to get up and go to the restroom, please keep in mind that the clock is still ticking. So that's something to also be aware of. Also, too, I would also suggest that maybe flip through the booklet. The test booklet, you can flip through it and maybe answer the sections that are maybe easiest for you to. I chose to answer the medical terminology and anatomy questions first, and then I went on to the other sections of the test. Also, the questions that had longer procedure notes, I tried to save those to the end and then come back to them. So that's one thing that I found helpful. Just kind of going, turning the pages and flipping to the sections that I thought would be easier for me to answer. So those are some tips that I found to be very helpful. Just make sure that you answer with confidence. I took my course through an online course through AAPC, and I just followed their agenda and also took the practice exams that came along with the AAPC course. They really do prepare you for the exam. And also just, answer the questions in confidence, and just remember your test taking strategies, process of elimination. Usually you should be able to eliminate at least 2 of the answers if you're not sure. and then you have 1 to 2 to choose from. I will say though, I almost ran out of time, so I did guess on about 5 or 6 of the questions. You don't want to leave any question unanswered, so I would rather guess rather than leave the question blank. So just be sure to at least answer all of the questions, even if you do not know the answer. So hopefully these tips have been helpful to you, and just make sure again this relax, answer within confidence, and you also will pass the CPC exam. Thank you guys for watching. Take care and be blessed.